video, we are going to deal with poem number 1 from First Flight, that is Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American romantic poet. The meaning of romantic poet is one who loves the nature very much, one who appreciates the beauty of nature. His style also comprises of various elements such as lyric and with backgrounds drawn from New England, and his choice of rural subjects, realistic depiction of life is also reflected in his poem. Okay, in this poem also he praises the beauty of nature, but how, we will see to it. Before starting, let me tell you, a poem has actually two meanings. One is literal and another is metaphorical. The meaning of literal is line by line meaning. As you read the lines, you get the meaning of the poem. And the meaning of metaphorical is the meaning hidden inside the line. What is there and what is the poet want to convey within the lines? That is the metaphorical meaning. So before explaining it out to you, I'd like to read out the poem. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Now, in class 10, this type of poems with such simple words may seem a little bit childish to you people. But let me tell you, the poet wants to tell you something more deep within. That is the metaphorical meaning. To come with the literal meaning, what is being said? A crow was sitting on a branch and the poet was standing underneath. Okay, and while the crow was sitting, suddenly there was snowfall and the snow fell from the tree, and that tree was what type of tree? Hemlock tree. Now what is a hemlock tree? Hemlock tree is a very poisonous type of tree with white flowers in it. Okay, so this is the end of the first para. Coming to the next para, has given my heart a change of mood. So suddenly when the snow fell on the poet, his heart changes, his total mood changes in the sense he was having a very pensive mood, he was very sad, it changes to happiness, and saved some part of a day I had rued. Rued means regretted. He was regretting, and as a result of which, when the snow fell on him, he was little bit very satisfied, he was full of happiness that at least some of the day was saved. Okay. So this is the literal meaning of the poem, as I said to you. Now coming to the metaphorical meaning, the first para, the first stanza is actually showing the sad mood of the poem. Now why was the poet sad? So there is a background to it. The poet, that is Robert Frost, was going through a lot of stress in his life. Okay, it was at that time he wrote this poem. As many of you being a student, you have a lot of stress in your life, all of us have. So like that only, he was also going through a lot of stress, and this poem, give us a optimistic outlook to life, that how we should treat life. Like everybody goes through some or the other problems, but how to deal with it, whether we should be very sad looking at those events or whether we should always move forward, as every cloud has a silver lining. Here Frost also followed the same rule and he moved ahead, and see what happened. Here there are some new words, as I said to you, like hemlock tree and root, and the symbols. There are some symbols used in the poem, that is crow. Crow is a symbol of mourning, sorrow, and hemlock tree is also poisonous one, as I said to you. It also shows death or sorrow. Okay, so these are the two symbols used over here. The mood of the poem is totally sad, full of negative words, as you can see as I read it out to you. And the setting is of course winter, because there is a mention of snow over here. So naturally it is winter season. The only ray of happiness in this poem is dust of snow. So here in this entire poem, the optimistic thing which comes out is dust of snow, and the poet considers that nature is the best psychiatrist, best counselor. It can change the total mood of a person or anything from sorrow or regret to happiness. So we should not underestimate nature at all. And see here what happens. Here the crow, which has been, as I said you, which is being considered ominous, when it is sitting on the tree, it is sitting on the branches and the snow is falling off from the branches. It shows that the crow is the harbinger of happiness, right? So maybe the crow is very ominous one, or we don't consider it very lucky, but here also even the most unlucky of thing can bring happiness to our life. This is what the poet wants to say, and we should always look into the positive side of things. Okay, we should not ponder over what happened, we should not regret in our life. This is the main thing that the poet wants to continuously say through this poem. Now coming to the theme. So what is the theme of the poem? I'll request all of you to please note this down. Here the first theme is happiness can be found in the darkest of time. So see here, the poet was very sad. He was just standing below a hemlock tree, which is again a poisonous one, but still he is having a little bit of happiness when the snow falls on him. So happiness can be found in the darkest of time also. Next, inauspicious thing can bring joy and happiness, as I said to you. Crow, hemlock tree, they are all considered inauspicious, and through this we are receiving happiness, as they are the harbinger of happiness. We should not underestimate anybody or anything. Okay, so this is what he wants to say. Next point is, one must accept the way with which nature chooses to bless us. The meaning of this is, we should embrace both the happy and unhappy situation gracefully. We should not complain. We should not always we should always remember that when spring is here, when winter comes, can spring be far behind? So naturally the dark moments, the sad moments cannot stay all throughout our life. Of course there will be happiness in our life also, so we should not be very much sad. We should be happy with whatever we have. Okay, so this is what comes to the theme, as I said to you. Now coming to the rhyming scheme of the poem, it is A B A B C D C D. Why A B A B C D C D? Because you see here, first line, the way a crow, next line is me, so crow is marked as A, and then next line me is marked as B. Again coming to the third line, there is snow at the end, so it is rhyming with crow, that is A, and last fourth line we have tree, which is rhyming with B, so it comes as B. So A B, and similarly in this next stanza we have hurt rhyming with part, and next we have mood rhyming with rude, so it comes to C D. So this is the rhyme scheme of the poem. Coming to the literary devices, we have assonance. Now what is assonance? Assonance means repetition of vowel sounds. Now where is the, as I have written over here in the note also, I'll read it out to you. The way a crow shook down on me. Second line, shook down on me. So here see, double O, O. So all O sound is getting repeated, that is vowel O sound is getting repeated, so it is assonance. Next we have alliteration. Now what is alliteration? It is repetition of letters. Here see, as I have given you, has given my heart, so H, it is getting repeated, and again in the next third line of the second stanza, and saved some part, so S, it is getting repeated, so this is alliteration. And the last one which we have is enjambment. Please note it down. Enjambment. What is the meaning of enjambment? When the line of a poem doesn't conclude in that particular line and it goes to the next line without any punctuation mark, that is enjambment. I'm repeating, a line doesn't end in that particular line and goes to the next line without putting any punctuation mark, that is known as enjambment. So if you have the poem, you can see there are no punctuation mark. There is only one punctuation mark at the end of the first stanza, and then there is another full stop at the end of the second stanza. So this shows that this whole poem, that is throughout the poem I have written, it is having enjambment, right? So these are the literary devices used over here. Coming to the question answer, as I read it out to you, I'll request all of you to please note it down in your notebook so that it will be helpful for you. Question number 1. What changes the mood of the poet in the poem Dust of Snow? The poet was unhappy during the beginning of the poem, but when the dust of snow fell on him, his mood changes and brings a sudden change in him. The feeling of regret or sadness changes to that of cheerfulness, CHEERFULNESS, cheerfulness or happiness. Question number 2. Justify the role of the crow and the hemlock tree. The crow was the agent, A-G-E-N-T, agent, who shook off the snow dust on the poet, and the hemlock is a tree having poisonous fruits. Both are considered to be inauspicious, 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 and ominous, OMINOUS, ominous symbols. Here, the agent changes his mood and refreshes it. And the last question is, what is the message the poem gives us? The main message is the communication between human beings and nature. Full stop. Natural things like the crow and the hemlock trees are not negatives. They are positives, impacting wisdom, 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 and positive energy to human beings. The healing, HEALING, healing power of nature is also revealed here. Full stop. So this is the end, and I hope it was useful. Thank you.